Oh, your boy is fired up, man. Your boy is fired up. It's your boy Cam. Hi, I'm Rick Kamla. We are the SportsEthos NBA Show with Rick Kamla. My boy Mitch Lawrence is dropping back by. A little SXM reunion. I love my boy Mitch, man. We have fun hanging out and talking basketball, and we're going to do so in about 20 minutes. There is so much to get to. So before we dive in and talk about Giannis and the Giannis sweepstakes popping as we speak, it is time for me to tell you about Bet Online, and it's time for you to head to the track for all three legs of the Triple Crown. I know the Kentucky Derby's in the books, but the two other Triple Crown races are coming up. Horse racing season is here. I know a lot of you were psyched about monetizing that. Bet Online is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all of your info and sports betting action, with the largest selection of odds on everything from the NBA, the NHL playoffs. The Major League Baseball is cooking right now. You've got UFC, you've got boxing. BetOnline has you covered for all your online wagering info in between games. Why don't you head over to BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas style games? They've got poker, they've got a live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here. This show starts with breaking news. This came out this morning. We love breaking news. All right, this comes from Shams Charania of ESPN. And it's about Giannis Antetokounmpo. And I think we all knew that the Giannis Antetokounmpo sweepstakes were going to be on, right? Well, now it's official. Shams Charania, I'm just going to read from his article here, and then I will opine. And I'll, interject here as I continue. But he said, Giannis has not made any firm decisions on his Bucks future. But for the first time in his career, Antetokounmpo is open-minded about exploring whether his best long-term fit is remaining in Milwaukee or playing elsewhere. What that means is that is a soft launch of I'm gone. Bye, Giannis. It's been real, okay? Five-Surf Forum will no longer be the house Giannis built, or maybe it will still be the house that Giannis built even after he leaves. But he gone. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. My great friend Dennis Scott, I got that one from him. It's some old-timey colloquialism, but I love me some Dennis Scott. But he's the first guy I heard say that. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Okay, all right, that's kind of funny. Anyway, shout out to my boy DZ. Sham says, any conversation surrounding the perennial NBA All-Star start primarily with where he believes his long-term future lies and whether there's a franchise outside of Milwaukee that is sensible for him. Oh, he'll find a franchise outside of Milwaukee that's sensible for him. There's not going to be a problem with that, okay? Shams writes, the Bucks and Giannis's reps are going to sit down with the team in the offseason and discuss his future. Now, Giannis's statistics, I mean, they're Wilt Chamberlain-esque, okay? This year, he went 30.4 points, 11.9 rebounds, 6.5 assists, 60% shooting, okay? It's the second consecutive season he's gone 30, 10, and 5 with 60% shooting. No other player in NBA history has done it once. It's a Giannis stat. It's like Russell Westbrook averaging 4 triple-doubles in 5 years. That's a Russell Westbrook stat. Okay, he did that. Like, this is unbelievable. And I know Giannis doesn't make free throws. And I know he doesn't shoot threes. And I know he doesn't have a mid-range pull-up. I get it, okay? 30, 10, and 5. And it, like, 30, 10, and 5, it's really like 30, 11, and 6. It's even better than that, okay? But phenomenal, all right? And I believe Giannis is 29 years old. Andre, keep me honest on that. I don't think he's quite hit 30 yet. If he's 30, he's right at 30. But I think Giannis is still 29. And so obviously in the prime of his career, still cooking. I do wonder, okay, like, I'm going to go get into Giannis Antetokounmpo if I'm one of these teams. But I do have a thought about Giannis. Is he going to age well? I don't think he is, because to age well, you've got to have skill, because your athleticism and your motor and all of that is just going to start to dun. It just does for everybody. and how you sustain through that, how you mitigate that, and how you remain productive and a total badass like LeBron, Steph, and Durant at their advanced ages is you have a tremendous amount of skill. All right, you're able to feather the ball into the hole without having to go Hulk smash all the time, right? Hulk smash is awesome. Is he going to be able to go Hulk smash and take over quarters and take over games and go 30, 10, and 5 when he's 35, 36 years old? That's all I'm saying. Is Hulk smash going to work when Giannis is in maybe at 35, maybe in 37's more kind of like where is he going to be able to just, because right now Giannis can flip a switch, he goes into Hulk smash mode, and there's nothing you can freaking do about it. He is a wrecking ball going through 3 guys, foul, free throw, the whole thing, the Giannis game. It's ugly, but it's effective. Hulk smash. I've always called it that. Hulk smash. I mean, it's Hulk smash. Wow, how else can I put it? The Bucks have won 1 playoff series since winning the chip. Giannis has said repeatedly that he wants to win multiple titles in his career. So here we are. All right. I believe it's 12 years with Milwaukee, by the way, which I also believe is the same amount of time that Kevin Garnett stayed in Minnesota. And I also want to say that 12 years might have been the number that Damian Lillard stayed in Portland before that thing came to an end. All right. Giannis is 30. December 5th is his birthday. So Giannis is right at 30. All right. This is exciting. This is breaking news. I haven't even gotten to my core 4 yet. And we've got Mitch Lawrence coming up at 11:20. Got a lot to do here. What's fascinating about this summer is it's the summer of Giannis, and it's also the summer of Kevin Durant. We know that both of these guys are going to be on the move. We know that, okay? For Giannis, several teams have been rumored as potential trade destinations. The Rockets, the New York Knicks, the Miami Heat, I-Roll, and the Golden State Warriors. The Lakers are also rumored to be a potential landing spot for obvious reasons, right? They're the Lakers. They're always brought into these conversations. Same as the Miami Heat. Man, the Miami Heat have no shot at getting Giannis. They don't have the assets. They don't. The Lakers are in it. The Memphis Grizzlies have been mentioned. The San Antonio Spurs have been mentioned. And the Brooklyn Nets have been mentioned. And according to reports, Giannis prefers to be in a larger market. So, and then you've got the Kevin Durant sweepstakes, which include a lot of the same teams, all right? So far, on record, the Miami Heat, the Minnesota Timberwolves, the New York Knicks, San Antonio Spurs, and Houston Rockets. Sound familiar? It's a lot like that list. For Giannis, what I will tell you right now, the Houston Rockets are in the best position of any team in the NBA to go make a move like this. They are absolutely positively in the best position because you've got Reed Shepherd, you've got Cam Whitmore, you've got maybe Atari Eason, a Jabari Smith, maybe a Jalen Green, although I'm not giving him up if I'm Houston. I'm not. I can give you, like, again, I'm sending you Reed Shepherd, Cam Whitmore, Jabari Smith, several draft picks. Is that enough? I think that's a pretty freaking healthy package, man. I do. I can't give you Alpy. And, like, I'm trying to go Spurs on this thing. I was shocked that the Spurs got De'Aaron Fox without giving up Devin Vassell or Stephon Castle. But they did it. Why can't the Rockets get Giannis without having to give up Jalen Green or Alpi Şengün? Why not? Because you have all of these other kick-ass assets. On the Rockets, I'm just saying. So if it's Green, it's a no-brainer. But you've got Smith, you've got Shepherd, you've got Cam Whitmore, you've got Tari Eason. They're not trading Amin Thompson. So just shut the music down on that. And then you've got other guys that are good, that don't even play super deep on their bench. So I just want to say, Houston, I believe, is going to get one of these guys. And I would definitely co-sign Houston getting Giannis Antetokounmpo. But think about this. If you get Giannis and you give up Jabari and Reed Shepherd and Cam Whitmore and stuff on the fringe and picks, okay, boom, you are right there for a championship now. But if you have to give up Jalen Green and maybe you keep Jabari Smith, and Jabari Smith is like a double up with Giannis and he's still coming on, then, I mean, you're a lot better and you're a lot closer to the chip than you were. But if you've got Green, Alpi, Giannis, maybe you keep Tari Eason, they don't trade for him. You're going to have Amen Thompson. And then free agents are going to be like, boom. And like the veteran minimum guy, you're going to have a bunch of mercenaries trying to go there now because they're sniffing out a chip, okay? The Rockets are in better position than any team to make any of these moves. All right, let's dive into my core four. Number one, Oklahoma City saved their season. That was impressive. That game sucked. It was a piece of trash, okay? Piece of trash game. The shooting, the early start time, I don't know, guys. I'd rather be at the beach on Sunday afternoon than inside watching ball. Like, why are we doing this? It's so stupid to me. And like, I love my job, and I'm not trying to be a complainer. I'm just saying to the league, okay? I'm sure the ratings sucked. Like, oh yeah, and it's Mother's Day, by the way. Like, everybody's got 10 million things going on. But play the game at like 7, and then play the next game at like 9:30, okay? Like you do on weeknights. Why not do it that way? Then we can all have our day, come home, sit down, boom. The NBA's on. How cool is that? I hate these day games. Hate them. I think they suck. I think it's a terrible decision by the league. And it led to a dreadful basketball game, okay? I just don't want to hear anybody making excuses about it. It was what it was. The game tipped off when it tipped off, and suck it up and go win the game. I don't want, win. It was 36. I mean, Mark Jones said that 8,000 times in the broadcast. It was driving me crazy. Well, fatigue, and dude, we get it. Stop bringing it up. Talk basketball. The game's going on. Nobody can make a shot, okay? Anyway, I'm a Jonesy fan, but that it just was over and over and over. And to me, it just like builds up the excuse and all that kind of stuff. And I got something to say about David Adelman with that in a minute. But for OKC, that might have been the turning point in their championship run. Okay, what happened yesterday? Because if they lose, they're done. They're done. You're down 3-1 to a team with championship DNA, you're effed. You're not coming out of that, okay? And you're still a relatively inexperienced team trying to figure this out. That's a death knell. That should go bye-bye now. So they saved their season. And so if we go all the way to June 19th or whatever, OKC wins the title. We're going to look back to game 4. That ugly, awful game at Denver with your season on the line. Denver was rolling. Murray's making shots. Jokic is making shots. They're all making shots. Place going crazy. Daigneault had to take 2 timeouts in the third quarter just to stabilize, okay? And after that second timeout, it was different. And OKC got it. And they started making shots. Dude, the bench players for OKC, my God, were they good yesterday. Holy cow. I'm getting fired up right now. Cason Wallace with those ballsy threes that he was hitting, man, gets me fired up because that's championship shit. I love it, okay? So that's what was going on yesterday. If OKC loses that game, it's over, okay? But they were able to fight through the fatigue, fight through all of the excuses and, oh, my buddy. Like, they just fought through all that. And they're younger than Denver. And I think the fact that they're younger than Denver was huge for them in that game because they were quicker to loose balls. And they just had that dart and that burst more than Denver did, okay? And Denver might have been a little complacent coming off the win. And again, more on what their coach said. But OKC hung in there. SGA was bothering me in the third quarter, passing too much, although the passes were leading to buckets, okay? But I'm like, when it got to the fourth quarter, and he had a long break from the third to the fourth, I'm like, SGA, now's the time. I actually made a live bet on OKC. I got him at plus 2.5. Right at that moment, that second timeout when Denver was kicking their ass, I'm like, I'm putting a hundo on OKC right now. Their season's on the line right now. Right now. Okay? You got to respond right now because the lead was like 6 or 7. You can't let this go to 13. You're dead. Okay? You're dead. You're not in this game where every point is this precious. No. You got to make a move now. You got to gain contact with this team now. And they did all of that. Okay? It was so impressive. And I'm so excited to watch like a non-champion become a champion and birth this thing before our eyes. It's very, very exciting stuff. And I'm not an OKC fan. This is just me being a hoop head and a historian and a guy who's tracked champions in this league for 40 years and know what it looks like, know what it tastes like. And I'm seeing it. I'm tasting it right now. And it was all on the table for OKC yesterday. And they came out winners. They gained championship DNA yesterday. They don't have championship DNA, but that's what it looks like yesterday. They play like champions yesterday. And a big question was OKC in clutch games, right? They haven't been in very many clutch games. I think the lowest number all year of any team in clutch games because they cranked everybody by 60 all year. So that was a big-time clutch game, and they won it, all right? Now, I gotta take issue with David Adelman, the interim coach of the Denver Nuggets. This is not how you keep your job, okay? He was whining about the quick turnaround after Game 3 in advance of Game 4, and his team took the bait, okay? His team wussed out because he wussed out. You can't do that. You give your team an out. You give them a built-in excuse. Oh, well, coach is already talking about how unfair it is and how wronged we are as a veteran team at altitude to have to play 36 hours later. And again, I think the start time was bullcrap, but it was what it was. You don't complain about it. You don't give your opponent that because OKC's probably like, man, they're in there pissing and moaning about the early start time. Let's go get them. Okay, and OKC was better right off the top of the game than Denver, and that was a big part of that game, all right? You don't do that if you're David Adelman. What are you trying to do? Get the league to change something? Bro, nobody's listening to you. You're an interim coach, the son of, okay? You're still the son of right now, all right? And you're a big-time assistant in this league trying to make your way as a head coach. This is not how you do it, okay? You say 36-hour turnaround, you know what? We're ready to play a game right now. That's what Ime Udoka would say. That's what Tom Thibodeau would say. They would say 36 hours, we're ready to go tonight. Let's go. That's what you say. And then that mindset goes down to your players. And then maybe a shooter and be like, Coach, I'm so tired, man. This turnaround. Be like, chop, chop. Suck it up, dude. You want to win a chip? I mean, what are we doing here? Win. It's such a short turnaround. Bull crap. Okay? I thought that was a bad move by David Adelman, and it was the narrative by the announcers coming into the game about, the quick turnaround. I mean, they were letting Denver off the hook before they lost the damn game. It was the lowest scoring first quarter ever, okay, in a playoff. Clearly, fatigue and altitude were a problem. Clearly, the early start time was a terrible decision by the NBA, but you don't give that to your opponent. David Adelman, you don't. He did. It's a huge reason why they lost that game, in my opinion. That might have been the most important game of SGA's career. Okay, you think about this. How many other important games, the last game when they lost to Dallas and he blocked PJ Washington and he kind of grazed him and fouled him and all that. That was a hugely important game, but they lost. You are now widely considered the best team in the NBA. Everybody thinks you're winning the chip this year. You just had one of the most dominant regular seasons in the 80-year history of the NBA, okay? It all means more now than it ever has for SGA. This is your MVP season right here. This is when you are supposed to make that Hakeem run, that Jordan run, okay, that chip run, all right? If he loses that game, they're done. He wins the game. Now you're 2-2. You're back on serve, heading home to OKC for Game 5. Series is probably going 7. You just probably earned yourself a home Game 7 by winning Game 4 at Denver in a game nobody wanted to play. The biggest, most important game of SGA's career. Not statistically, clearly, and in the fourth quarter. He had like 9 points or whatever it was. But it was making J's. It was being slithery. It was manufacturing fouls. It was all of the SGA stuff, okay? And it was in attack mode, and it was aggressive, but it wasn't out of team concept. It was just perfect. It was brilliance, okay? And a lot of Kendrick Perkins was starting to bang on him, and I was listening to it because SGA needed to flex in that fourth quarter, like an MVP, like a future Hall of Famer, all this kind of stuff, and he did. And it was so cool to see. Imagine right now, guys, and we're going to bring in Mitch Lawrence here. Imagine if OKC and SGA lose that game yesterday, and they're down 3-1. They are getting attacked today. SGA is getting obliterated into a million pieces. If he had 18 points and they lose, they're down 3-1. Oh, he's a fraud. He's a fake. He shouldn't have won MVP. I mean, people would have been killing him. All of that died with that win yesterday by SGA, and I'm happy for him and OKC about that. Let's bring on my boy Mitch Lawrence right now. Mitch Lawrence, the absolute legend, is back on here with your boy Cam, the SportsEthos NBA Show with Rick Kamla. Mitch, what's up, dude?
You were on some roll there, some filibuster. I love it. I tell you what, I can't disagree with any of your takes on that Oklahoma City Denver thing. I will say this: you're talking about if they win the title, they go on to win their first title ever. and look back at that game, there might be a game coming up in the conference finals that you're going to look back at too and say, hey, this was the other game. Because a lot of times these type of teams will have one or two inflection points in their playoff run. We saw that when Dallas finally broke through with Nowitzki. They had two, unbelievable, landmark playoff wins that came out of kind of nowhere that they had to prove themselves. So there's a lot of basketball left to be played. Maybe not in Cleveland, though. I mean, man, you want to talk about a series. You want to talk about a team that is on the verge of being blown up. Those are your Cavaliers. I should say Dan Gilbert's Cavaliers, because they are still in a world. I mean, how did they lose last night where they basically came out and laid down? Now you don't know about Donovan Mitchell. I mean, this is the number one seed. You're talking about the one seed in the West being in good shape because of what they did on the road. What in the heck is going on in Cleveland? I'll tell you what's going on. This team, to me, does not have – it's a regular season, a very good to a great team, 60-win team, don't get me wrong. But in the playoffs, what's happening now, and I discount Miami. They were a bogus team, so forget about what they did in Miami. What's going on in this series against a very good Indiana team, which nobody wants to talk about? But what's going on against that team, this is really a referendum on this whole team as a team going forward in the future. Can they win? And I'll tell you what, the way they're playing now, they get knocked out, they're going to have to blow this thing up. They're going to have to move either Donovan Mitchell or a combination of Garland, because they just don't have – first of all, I'm stunned by the way they come out and they don't play with force. They come out – Indiana's the one who's taking it to them. Indiana's the one who's constantly on the attack. Cleveland is they're like sleepwalking through a second-round series against a team that went to the conference finals last year. It makes no sense, but it's very, very dangerous. And, here's the other thing that nobody talks about. Rick Carlisle has coached 159 playoff games, including this series. Kenny Atkinson has coached 5. Big, big advantage. You just talked about David Adelman and the wrong message he sent. You're at home and you're complaining about a quick turnaround. You got to be out of your mind. Out of your mind. A win. Come on.
Out of your mind.
I think the number one story right now in the NBA is this Cleveland team could be playoff fraudulent. That would necessitate the big ba-boom at the end of the year into the offseason where we get big moves and shakeups. Colby Altman's going to be under a lot of pressure. It's fascinating, isn't it? And how are you today?
Mitch Lawrence, let's go. Bring in the fire. Bring in the hot sauce. I can tell you one thing, Mitch. I love the take, but I disagree with it. I think Cleveland gets a pass. And I know
to the injuries.
Yes.
Because minor. Okay, I'll let you talk. But the way this thing started with Darius Garland with a toe and Evan Mobley with an ankle, guys. Whatever happened to if this were the playoffs, they'd be playing. That whole thing, right? You always hear that. Hey, guys, don't worry. If this were the what are they walking around with? ACL tears? It's unbelievable. But go ahead.
I don't disagree with that. I'm football minded with this, okay? Quarterbacks in the NFL that are worth their salt don't miss games. They have a chip fracture in their back. They play. They have a high ankle sprain that's actually kind of a little bit of a bone separation thing. They play. Okay, that's where I'm from. All right, you got a turf toe, right? Well, then you limp around the football field, but you play. So they didn't play. And Garland's injury went back to the first round, had a long layoff, and then missed more time. So I think that was actually an injury, Mitch. And he's probably still playing hurt right now through that. My point is this. The blow it up thing, is it disappointing? Yes, it's massively disappointing. But because you had these injuries, Hunter missed a game, Mobley missed a game, Garland missed a game, Mitchell just left this game. You've got a built-in excuse for me if you're Kobe Altman, the Gilbert family, not to blow it up because of the success you had. And you can be like, well, our team freaking fell apart here. So I don't agree that they should blow it up. I think they should stay the course.
Well, that's interesting. See, to me, I just kind of, the way they've approached this, the way they've played, their lack of tenacity, their lack of fight. I look at this team and I go, this looks like the classic regular season team that's never going to amount to anything in the playoffs. They're missing the driving force that's going to tell that. Yeah, go ahead.
Mitch, do you remember the Atlanta Hawks when they had 4 All-Stars and they won the East? And but you kind of like they were a great regular season team. Is that a decent analogy for these two teams?
This team's probably a little more talented, but yeah, I think, and there have been other teams maybe that we'd have to, reference to in the past who were high seeds, who you just said, you know what, this really isn't going to translate into playoff basketball. I mean, the alarming thing is when you get a game like yesterday and you're giving up 80 points in the first half and you're down by 40 points. I mean, that to me speaks about character. That speaks about the type of guys you have. And that to me isn't going to be worked out of, we'll have another great regular season next year and then that's going to change. That's all of a sudden, we're going to flip the script, and in the playoffs, they're going to be much more aggressive. They're going to be really dominant. They're going to come out and throw haymakers at people, and they're not going to just like lollygag into the playoffs, because you know what? That's going to be so much pressure next year. But I look at it as this. Now, you may be right. Dan Gilbert, Kobe Altman, Kenny Atkinson, all these guys might say, yeah, the injury's fine. That's your built-in excuse. I'm an alarmist on this front, and I'm looking at it as, nope, this team, it's not going to be the playoff team you think it is. That's why changes could be made. And you know what? Who knows what you could do with a Donovan Mitchell, how you could, parlay him into something, or if you go with Garland, or, the one guy I'm keeping is Mobley. But Jared Allen, Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, even Ty Jerome, I might look for wholesale changes just because I get a bad feeling. It's just something that just the look isn't right. The feel's not right. I'm not going to give up on Kenny Atkinson. He's a neophyte when it comes to playoff basketball. But I think there is something here going on which tells me, no, this is not a team built for the playoffs in terms of the mental stuff, the grit, the grind, the stuff that the stuff you always talk about, the need to, not the want to, the need to of players. And this is a fascinating thing. Let's not forget, Donovan Mitchell had some big playoff disappointments in Utah. He can now, as much as he's been a great player, that to me, it always comes back to me to what does the guy do in the playoffs, right? A guy who you think is a star, and he had some disappointing moments. A lot of times Rudy Gobert got the blame. But people out in Salt Lake always talked about, well, there is Donovan Mitchell, too. He is the leader of the team. And, Rudy's a convenient target. He's 7'2". He knows all that stuff. We'll see how it plays out. I think this series is over. I think Indiana is playing with such great – first of all, they improved defensively hugely from last year. That is a fact. Statistically, they're like 13th defensively, okay, coming from the bottom of the pile. And then offensively, I mean, my God, they share the ball, and it's not like I'm just going to, dribble and look. No, they're popping, moving, keeping huge amount of pressure on your defense. And they've got multiple guys who can put the ball in the basket. And then the thing that Rick Carlisle must have loved was when that stupid athletic poll came out saying the players voted Tyrese Halliburton the most overrated in the NBA. Rick Carlisle was like, look at that. Yeah, that's right. That's right. He's so overrated. Hey, did you read that poll? Tyrese?
Oh, my God.
Go get him. And leave your dad at home.
Dude, so Carlisle came in the locker room the day after that and said, you're overrated. He probably like busted his balls Halliburton, you're fucking pardon me. You're overrated or something. Fascinating, man. Mitch, so Indiana to me, like, they do need their respect, okay? They're in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. They beat the Knicks at the Garden to get there with one of the most masterful offensive playoff explosions we've ever seen.
In a game 7.
And that was game 7. And now this year, to me, they're back in the East Finals. There is no freaking way, especially with the Mitchell injury now, with MRIs and all this kind of stuff. He done. He ain't going to play again. So let me advance the story here, Mitch, okay? Because we got breaking news this morning. What? That Giannis Antetokounmpo, and I mean, look, we all knew this was going to be the summer of Giannis, but the reporting from Shams this morning, pretty much to me made it official. Like, the Giannis is going to work with the team and blah, 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 blah. It's on. Okay, the sweepstakes are on. So you have the Kevin Durant sweepstakes on as well. You want the Cavaliers to blow up their team.
Yeah.
So they do have, I mean, maybe Donovan Mitchell would be attractive for the Milwaukee Bucks. Maybe Jared Allen would be attractive to the Milwaukee Bucks. And they've got Cleveland is deep, and they've got all these other guys, these layers of guys. So do you want Cleveland to go get Giannis?
Well, I would call, but if I'm Milwaukee, I want to ship Giannis out to the West. I don't want to see Giannis in the East. I don't want to have to go up against him in the playoffs.
But I would ask you, why does it matter? Because if you're Milwaukee and you trade Giannis, you're probably going to now enter a sucky rebuilding period here. So what does it really matter about competing with teams in your conference?
Here's what I want to do if I'm Milwaukee. You're right. If I'm Milwaukee, I really want to trade Giannis somewhere where I might get a rising great young player, but I'm more interested in the assets because Milwaukee's not a free agent destination. So you're kind of limited there. So what you have to do is do a rebuild of 3, 4, 5 years involving drafting really well, player development, and then hitting on a guy who could become a Tyrese Halliburton or a young, big time player. And I think Houston's been talked about as a Giannis destination because look at the plethora of young players there. They've got picks. He makes sense too, probably for Houston. They have been chasing superstars since back when you and I were in grade school. I mean, that whole thing, Clyde Drexler, Charles Barkley. I mean, and that was that was always the Daryl Morey way of building was let's go out and get James Harden, there are other examples. He brought in Chris Paul at one point. He's always looking to get those guys to put him, sell tickets, but maybe make some deep playoff runs. Listen, if you're Milwaukee, you probably will talk to Cleveland. I still think it's a Western thing. I guess let me put it this way. Is the horse out of the barn? Is Giannis basically told them I'm done here? Is that the report? Or can you still tell him we have a plan? Now, I don't know what the plan is because you're really limited there. You got an older team. You don't have your great young talent. You don't have a lot of flexibility. How are you going to get free agents? You've already killed you killed your chances with the Drew Holiday thing, which totally blew up in your face, sending him, as it turns out, to Boston. Chris Middleton's gone. So if Giannis is gone, I guess you owe it to yourself to look everywhere, including if it's Cleveland. But you know what? Houston looks really good. I'm sure. Looking, what happens if OKC gets derailed here some way, somehow? I mean, they still got to get past Denver. It's still 2-2. The next round they play Minnesota, or Minnesota gets derailed. Are they in play for Giannis? I mean, hey, this opens up a world of possibilities. But we know one thing. He won't end up in Miami. They just don't have the assets. They'll be talked about because it's Pat Riley. But you tell me who you want. You want Tyler Hero in Milwaukee and a package for Giannis Antetokounmpo? Really? You can't do better than that?
But if you're Giannis, I don't want to go to Miami if they don't have Tyler Hero. I want to, I would with Bam and Hero and Wiggins and me and Davion Mitchell. Okay, maybe, but Miami. I said that earlier in the show, Mitch. That's a great point. Miami, they're going to be mentioned a lot. They don't have the assets. They would need an 18-team trade and a lot of bamboozling to pull this off. It ain't going to happen. Also, for the Lakers, it ain't going to happen. No. Are they going to trade? Let me ask you this. If Rob Pelinka finally said, okay, screw it, I'm ready to trade Austin Reeves. And clearly he has not been ready to do that, and I understand why. If you're but what could LA build around Austin Reeves? This has got to be an enormous package. Like Reeves and a couple of first-round picks ain't going to get this done.
No, it's got to be an enormous package. That's why, I was thinking it when the Mavericks made this Doncic disaster. My thing was, why didn't they wait until after the season and call the Bucks up? Luka Doncic as a starting point for Giannis Antetokounmpo, right there is almost you consider the age, you consider Giannis is 1-9 in his last 10 playoff games. I know a lot has to do with the roster, But I mean, Giannis in Dallas, Luka in Milwaukee. You think they like Luka Doncic up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin? Maybe hoisting beers to him up there. Well,
big time.
That ship sailed. We all know how that worked out. But that's the reason to me, if you're the Mavericks, you just don't take Anthony Davis. You wait to see what happens in the playoffs. And we all kind of figured, you know what? Where are the Bucks going this year? And it could come to this point. They jumped the gun for them, I think, still. And listen, teams will line up for Giannis. The problem is Milwaukee's got to get a king's ransom. You have to get a king's ransom. You got to get a Gobert. You got to get a package that, Gobert went to Minnesota for, or you got to get a package, that Donovan Mitchell, Mikal Bridges got for Brooklyn. That's the type of thing you have to do for Giannis, even though he's, it's been 4 years since he won the title, and a lot of things have gone wrong there, but he's still Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's got 2, 3, 4 years, really good years left to play, to really, whatever it is. So it's going to be a fascinating year. And then you got Durant, who obviously is going to be on the move too. And I think if I'm Houston, I don't want any part of Durant, but I will definitely try to get Giannis.
I completely agree with that. And I'm trying to get Giannis for Reed Shepherd, Cam Whitmore, Jabari Smith, and you can have every single draft pick that you want.
You're not giving up Jalen Green, and obviously Thompson is a forget it. You can't get Thompson.
I think Amen's the most untouchable guy. But right. If I'm Houston, I will trade fringe guys. But I love their fringe guys. I'm not saying that in a bad way. Like Reed Shepherd to me is a future stud. I really like Cam Whitmore. Jabari Smith was the second overall pick in the draft and had a good playoff. Okay, left a good taste in everybody's mouth. And so if you're going Jabari Smith, Reed Shepherd, Cam Whitmore, a whole bunch of picks, I've got 3 building blocks of the future. I think Cam Whitmore's a 20 PPG guy. He doesn't play any defense. I think he's a 20 PPG guy. I think Reed Shepherd is a starting. Like,
what about
is he better than Dame? No, but I think Reed Shepherd is going to be a terrific starting point guard.
What about Sengun? He's untouchable too.
But again, yes, if I'm Houston, we built this thing slowly. We got Ime. We're cooking. Okay, we lost to Golden State. They beat us every damn time anyway. Like, they just got a thing with Golden State.
Yeah. I mean, listen, as I read, somebody had a great tweet during that series. Every time Houston scored a basket in the half court, it was like a minor miracle. That's what it was. I mean, but we knew Golden State was going to run into trouble this round, and they definitely have, because Minnesota's more talented, bigger, deeper, more athletic, longer. Ant-Man, right? The way he played the other night on the road in a big spot. I mean, you know what? Steph Curry, you can do what? I'm watching, they're showing Steph Curry a lot. They had like a camera trained on him. And I'm telling you, there were looks on his eyes like, well, first of all, I ain't coming back this series. And second of all, we ain't winning this series. He just had that look about because you kind of know when you're beat. And I think he knew that. As soon as Draymond Green fouled out and he got Kuminga making idiotic plays down the stretch, and I know he scored 30 points, but you can tell why Steve Kerr's sometimes down on Kuminga, because the basketball IQ is not up there with Draymond Green. We're talking about 2 different universes. So Golden State's in a world of trouble. I'll tell you, either Minnesota, Denver, Minnesota, OKC, I'm signing up for it, obviously, right now. That will be a great conference finals. Tremendous.
I agree with everything you're saying about that. If my whole thing with Kuminga, man, if Steve Kerr had consistently played him all this time, where would Kuminga's IQ be? Because how can you develop an IQ when Steve Kerr shelves you? And I mean, you never know what your role is. Am I starting, coming off the bench? Am I in or out? I mean, Curry's injury got him out of the rotation and back into the rotation. Jonathan Kuminga out of an NBA rotation does not compute for me. He's way too good for that. And I don't think he's an all-star future Hall of Famer. I just think he's a nice young player. But this has been, we talked about this on NBA radio. I think Steve Kerr ruined James Wiseman, half ruined Moody, and half ruined Kuminga. And I think Kuminga would be a lot more advanced had Kerr actually consistently played him.
Let me ask you this about Kuminga. If you're Mike Dunleavy after this round and you lost, do you call the Bucks about Giannis? with Kuminga
Yes.
as your primary, right?
Yes.
Right?
And Pajemski,
Oh, yeah. Right.
who isn't he from there?
I believe he is, right?
Andre, help me out with that. I want to say he's from
Yeah, I think he
Milwaukee,
is.
or was I haven't looked at that. That's like a thought bubble thing hitting me right now.
Yeah, that's
you've got I don't know, maybe Quentin Post caught their eye. Like Golden State's got some dudes. Like they've got some layers, and I don't know about the draft pick thing, Mitch, but if you're hitting me with Pajemski, Kuminga, God, I don't have their team in front of me right now. You know, maybe another kind of exciting Trace Jackson Davis is a guy that I like a lot, and he fell out of Steve Kerr's favor. But Trace Jackson Davis was terrific last year. He dunked on Wemby, Mitch. My man dunked on Wemby. Everybody forgets TJD dunked on Wemby. He put Wemby in the hole. Anyway, that's a good call with Golden State, dude. It really is.
Well, I think that Joe Lacob is looking at how are we going to, Steph's going to come back off this hamstring, but how are we now going to get past Oklahoma City? And how are we now going to get past Denver? And how are we going to get past Minnesota? And Houston is still there. Maybe, you know what? We got to do something to bring in Giannis Antetokounmpo.
All right, Mitch, we got time for one more question, but it's a two-part question. You can take as long as you want on this.
Is this Knicks Boston, I hope? No?
Oh, yeah. Let's go to tonight, my friend. Let's go Knicks Boston, and obviously we get Minnesota Golden State. Yeah. Maybe you already kind of think that one's over, but let's start with Knicks and Boston. Where are you at with that game tonight?
I think Boston's going to win. I think Boston, it's not like they unlocked anything the other night, but if you have a team that 3 times has had 20-point leads in a playoff series, that tells us a little bit about, or a lot about, the disparity there.
Good point.
And I think listen, here's my primary thing about Boston. The Celtics haven't, despite all these documentaries about them, the great Celtics haven't repeated since 1968-69.
Wow.
Okay? And teams that repeat, to me, even Michael's teams, year 2, from year 1 to year 2, we're talking about repeating or trying to do the triple. You know what? They're not sweeping every round. There are all kinds of challenges. They are usually really, there's some real ups and downs in that second go round. It doesn't come easily. And remember, Boston last year in the East had pretty much of a cakewalk. So things are evening up a little bit in terms of that. So I look at this as, this is what I kind of expected. The Celtics, first of all, didn't sweep the first round, right? Gave up a game to Orlando. And then this round, I figured the Knicks would get 2. I didn't figure they'd get 2 the way they did, but they got 2. And this is now a struggle. This is now a big struggle. And I think Boston's up to it. I think the key tonight is if Porzingis can give them more minutes and more quality shots, that apparently helps Tatum out a lot with spacing, getting him access to the basket. Boston's in great shape. Knicks will fight. The Knicks will show grit. I think. I hope they come out better than they did the other day, because in New York, they're getting absolutely slaughtered in talk radio because they just kind of like showed up like we're up 2-0. We're just going to take game 3. So I think it'll be much more of a war, maybe closer. I don't think the Celtics I don't know if they'll build a 20-point lead. They're not blowing a lead tonight. They might come back and win tonight, but I got them as winners, and I think they're in good shape for the playoffs. And Nick-wise, what do you do after the last game? You just got to play 1,000,000% better with more force and better. Listen, that was for Knick fans, that was a disaster, game 3, because the expectations were through the roof being up 2-0. And here we have a chance to put a stranglehold on the series. Didn't come close.
Yeah, and I understand fandom and stuff like that. Objectively, though, there was nothing about that game that surprised me at all. Peyton Pritchard having a big game. Boston winning, saving their season like championship DNA, spilling out all over the Nothing surprised me about that game. Nothing. And so Knick fans are all butthurt. Well, they're going to get that way. And then what about Minnesota and Golden State? Let me ask it to you this way, Mitch. I thought Minnesota was going to win game 3 a little bit more comfortably. They had 2 guys firing, Randall and Edwards. Golden State had 2 guys firing, Butler and Kuminga. Wasn't a whole lot of help from any other guy on either team. So I thought Minnesota would win by a wider margin in that one. I did, like maybe 10, 11, 12 points. It's the same spread tonight. It's like 5, 5.5. Do you think it's another meat grinder? Okay. Or do you think Minnesota is going to separate and we're going to see some quitting or some letting go of the rope happen here with Golden State?
Don't see that with Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green. I do not see any letting go of the rope. These guys are too proud. They're veterans. Draymond's won. Jimmy's gone to a finals. No way, no how. It's going to be a meat grinder. I still think, though, when you look at the teams and you look at the advantages that Minnesota has, I think without Steph Curry on the floor, they're more talented. They're longer, more athletic, and deeper. They don't have the playoff success of these top Golden State guys. But right now, in 2025, they're a better team built for the playoffs. So I think they're going to win again, and I think this series will be over, and they'll look back, Golden State, and say, with Steph, it might have been a different story, but we have to move on and do something else. But no, I think Minnesota holds all the cards here. And I actually, with Steph going into the series, I was like, I still think Minnesota's the better team. I know they don't have these three guys, but no, I think Golden State, and you're at home. I don't expect Golden State to pull a Cleveland. And all of a sudden, we're done. And I mean, imagine if Draymond Green didn't foul out the other night with those 2, 5, and 6 right away. That might have been a different story. Could have been a different story. We'll never know. But I like Golden State's toughness. I really do in terms of that. I don't think they're going to win, but I think it's going to be a fist fight. But Minnesota, this will be great for Minnesota again. Another playoff, a huge win on the road, showing they're kind of like, hey, we are building towards something like Oklahoma City.
Mitch, you showed supreme toughness on this broadcast here today, my friend. You the man. You the man. Mitch, I always love hanging out with you. Best opinions in basketball coming on right here. How about I reach out to you in a couple more weeks and get you back on?
Good. I see you reached into Bill Walton's closet today for your attire. Very nice.
I did, yeah. The Where's Walton, baby?
Yes, awesome.
I got the Where's Walton. What year is this? Can you read? I can't turn around.
See.
But this was back in this is about a 20-year-old shirt. But yeah, I felt like rocking the Where's Walton. I'm all psyched about the playoffs.
Oh,
I miss Bill Walton, man.
I can't believe, just to let you go, I can't believe the road team success in the playoffs. It's like something we've never seen before. It's nuts. It makes no sense. If you watch the games like I did in the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s, where you couldn't go on the road and win against the number one seed. It was impossible. You needed an act of Congress beyond that. I mean, it was like, no. And now everybody's going in and winning road games. It's crazy. It's great. It's perfect. It really is.
It's a little bit of the wussification of the league, because back in the days, the guys were like, over my dead body, are you going to come in here and beat me? And now they want to win home games. But back in the day, it was blood.
Hey, I'm not going to – I would never disagree with you on that whole – it's the pussification of America. In every part of society, never mind the NBA.
Except over here on the Sports Ethos podcast with Rick Kamla.
There you go, Rick.
Mitch Lawrence. Mitch, you the man. Thank you so much,
care,
dude.
Man. Stay in touch. We'll see you. Bye-bye.
All right, that's my guy, Mitch Lawrence, man. I love that guy. Mitch is my guy. I was right. Pajemski, Greenfield, Wisconsin. There you go. I like the Golden State thing. I do. It's a great call by Mitch. With Golden State, again, because and if you're like, well, Kuminga's a free agent. Yes, but he's a restricted free agent, which means Golden State's got something to say about where he goes, okay? So it could be, a sign and trade kind of thing. He comes to terms with Milwaukee. He's in the trade. Pajemski, blah, 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 blah. Just saying, man. All right, back to Cam's Core 4. The Cavaliers' dream season is over, and the Pacers need some respect. All right, the Pacers first. East Finals in back-to-back years. It's time to respect this team. They're not fly-by-night. They're not flimsy. They're not lucky to be here. They're one of the best teams in the NBA, and when you're a team like Indiana, you've got to do it again and again and again, and then you get America's attention like, okay, damn, you guys are for real. They have a magical quality to them brought by Halliburton. They're very, very fun. They're entertaining, and they are dominant, okay? When they get up on you, they just go boosh like a cigar boat across the water, okay? Bye. They just leave you behind. And the Pacers are so much more than Halliburton. So much more than Halliburton. Halliburton's a lot of times has dud games, but then Nebhard has a game. Nesmith has a game. Siakam and Turner have a game. McConnell and Shepard and who's my other guy off the bench? Obi Toppin off the bench. I mean, they got dudes coming at you. Mathurin, who did the stuff yesterday. But like, they're so freaking deep. And they're one of the most talented teams in the league. Got a great coach in Rick Carlisle. You got Miles Turner, who's so underrated and so about to get paid. And then they got my boy Nesmith, who's an absolute dog. The Cavaliers season is over. It sucks, guys, but sometimes dream seasons end in a nightmare. That's what's happening right now. I do not agree with the great Mitch Lawrence that they need to blow this up. I believe they need to keep this together and run it back and hope for healthy and better results. That's what I would do. They just broke the league in the regular season. I am not overreacting. Look, if everybody was healthy on Cleveland, Garland, Mobley, Hunter, Mitchell, 100% healthy, and you're still getting cooked like this, maybe we can have a different conversation at that point. That's not what's happening here. Garland, Mobley, Hunter missed 1 or 2 games. Mitchell missed most of game 4. It's over. You get a pass. You get a pass. Like Golden State in the finals against Toronto in 2019. You get a pass. Okay? No Clay, no Durant. Both suffered devastating blown tires in that series. Oh, but they still should have won. Blah, 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 blah. No, they shouldn't have. They get a pass. Okay? You go from, you broke the league. I mean, they were looking for 3 in a row, and come on. You get a pass for this. And I know a lot of you don't like giving out passes. I don't give out passes easily, but this to me is you get a free pass. No expectations. It's a judge-free zone. You guys killed it in the regular season. We don't know what would have happened because of the injury. Other people may bang on them, criticize them, try to get the team blown up. I'm not with that. I am not with that. My thing with Mathurin and Hunter last night, Mathurin punched DeAndre Hunter kind of like right here, like right in the middle of the rib cage. And it was like kind of a quick little jab, but I'm sure that hurt like hell for DeAndre Hunter, especially he's just kind of there and he wasn't like all like flexed up and braced for it. And so it probably like, damn, that hurt, dude. And so he got pissed, went right at him. 2 hand shoves Mathurin, who was standing like this, like, what'd I do? And just gets shoved over. My whole thing with that is, why? Why would you do that? I like Ben Mathurin. Like, and I mean, I'll forget about this next week, but like, why? Like, if I'm Rick Carlisle, I'm just like, why? Well, coach, he hit me, when I was coming off a screen, 3 possessions. Really. Don't do anything to upset the apple cart. We're cooking these guys. We literally have them on a rotisserie right now. We're carving them up like a Thanksgiving turkey. We're in the East Finals right now. Don't screw this up. Just play it straight. Like, you don't need to do anything other than just ball. Play Indiana Pacers basketball, and you will be fine. So, love me some Mathurin, but that, like, just don't do that stuff. You've got them beat. Don't do anything to, like, fire them up and whack the hornet's nest with a bat or something. Don't do it, dude. Just keep it moving. Number 3 in my in my core 4. Celtics at Knicks tonight, game 4. Guys, the road team is 3-0 in this series, and the home road splits are extremely weird. Boston was good at home against Orlando, lost a road game. So that was kind of like normal, right? Well, this series, far from normal. Boston loses the first 2 games at home. They win game 3 on the road. So is the road team going to go 4-0 to start this series? Like, I would love to see the numbers on how rare that is in NBA history, that 7 times the road team won the first 4 games of an NBA playoff series. Like, whatever that number is. I bet it's a small number. That's where we're at right now. The Knicks can't win at home, and they're home tonight. This is not a good spot, okay? Against Detroit, You lost 2 games at home. And now here you've lost 1 game to Boston at home. They're 1-3 at home in the playoffs. They got 1 home win against Detroit. That's it. 1-3 at home. The Knicks are 5-0 on the road in the playoffs. 2-0 here against Boston. They won 3 games at Detroit. That's insanity. Does not make any sense at all. Okay. My prediction for tonight, Celtics. I think the Celtics are going to win this game. I don't see, like OKC yesterday against Denver. A lot of angles going on and nitty gritty during the game. The bottom line was, I don't see OKC going down 3-1. I don't see it. I don't believe it. It's not a jacket that I even want to try on to see if it fits. I just don't see it. I don't believe it. I've watched this team all year. I trust and believe in this team. Not fanness, analytically. Boston's just too good, man. They're too good. They're the best 3-point shooting team in the league. They are the defending champs. They are phenomenal on the road. Phenomenal. And this has been going on for years. They're very, very flimsy and weird at home. Boston's phenomenal on the road. They just all get better. Okay. Championship DNA is going to rise tonight to the surface. Tatum and Brown, I think, are going to be special. I believe Cat's going to shrink tonight. There, I said it. I think Brundog's going to go for another 30-8, whatever his line's going to be, another fat game. And I think Karl Anthony Towns is going to shrink. Foul trouble that look like, sorry, I suck tonight, like that thing. I think that's the game you get from Cat tonight. And I think we're 2-2. Number 4 in my core 4. I don't know if you guys know this. The NBA draft lottery is tonight. Tonight, we will learn where Cooper Flagg plays basketball. The Cooper Flagg sweepstakes will be determined tonight. And whoever gets the number 1 pick in the draft, they're going to be like, well, all options are open. We're open for trades, and we still need to do our evaluations, blah, blah, blah. Don't listen to any of that. It's all smokescreen bull crap that they are required to say contractually by their bosses and the networks. That last part was a joke. So whoever gets the 1 is getting Cooper Flagg. We're going to find that out tonight. It's very exciting stuff. All right, here are the lottery standings as we head into tonight for the lottery. Pardon me. The Utah Jazz had the worst record in the league, and I hate them for it because you did not have the worst talent in the league, not even close. 17-65. They are in the pole position, kind of. There's actually 3 teams in the pole position. They all have the same exact odds at 14%. Washington, they're 2 right now at 18-64. Charlotte is 3 at 19-63. They have 14%. They have the best odds. Then New Orleans is next at 21-61. Dang. They have a 12.5% chance. Then Philly is at 5. This is a huge lottery tonight for Philly. Do not lose the lottery tonight. You tanked all year to get to this point. They're 5th. But because you're 5th by record, 24-58, does not mean you'll be 5th coming out of the NBA draft lottery. You could fall back. Somebody could come up and get you. You see winners and losers from the lottery all the time. If you're Philly, if you fall outside of the top 6, the pick goes to Oklahoma City. This is huge tonight for Philadelphia. Number 1, the team that gets Cooper Flagg. Number 2 is Philadelphia staying in the top 6. They just tricked off a season for this pick. Imagine if you did all that tanking and then you get to the draft lottery and you lose. And like San Antonio leapfrogs you, right? And San Antonio moves up to 5. You drop back to 8. And that 8 pick then goes to OKC. Oh, that's the death card for Daryl Morey. I'm not saying he'll get whacked about it or should. I'm just saying that's the death card. That's the card you don't want to hit the table. Just putting it out there for tonight. Brooklyn is 6th right now. Toronto is 7th. San Antonio is 8th. Houston is 9th. Okay? And check this out. This has Giannis ramifications. And Portland is 10th. Houston, 36 and 46. But so that's Phoenix's record, right? Houston was second in the West. There was a trade with Houston and Phoenix, and that's why Houston is in that spot. All right, so let's say Houston catches a win here tonight, and they go from 9 to like 4, okay? And now Houston's got the 4th pick, and you've got Cam Whitmore and Reed Shepard and Jabari Smith and the 4, and you've got other picks. Okay, this could have Giannis ramifications tonight. If Houston wins, and even if they don't, let's say Houston stays put at 9, right where they're at right now, right where Phoenix would have been, right? Let's say they're at 9. That's still a very attractive pick for the Milwaukee Bucks because you're trading Giannis. You want to get, okay, so you get a little instant gratification. Let's trade him in advance of the draft. Boom, we're in the 9 hole right now. I'm not even sure Milwaukee has a first-round pick as we sit here right now. I know they don't have a top 10 or lottery pick. So that could be a very, very, very important pick for Houston pulling off a Giannis Antetokounmpo trade. All right. Got to speed through some of this stuff. Going a little long today, but we had fun with Mitch. My Cammy of the week. And by the way, this is the Sports Ethos NBA Show with your boy, Rick Kamla. Hi, how you doing? Thanks so much for joining me. Please retweet this. Let everybody know what we're doing over here. Killing it as usual. Ant-Man is my Cammy of the week. He gets my Cammy of the week for going in for the kill in Game 3. I've been saying this for a while. I'm going to continue to say this. If Ant-Man channels that version in every game, the Wolves can win it all this season. If he does not channel that version of himself every game, they will not. It's that simple. You have the defense, you have the shooting, you have the coaching, you have the cohesion, you've got a little experience. Now, you've got it all. You just need Ant-Man to go Jordan and go Kobe on these mofos. That's all the Wolves need. All right. First 2 games, Ant-Man had 43 points. In Game 3, he had 36 points. In Games 1 and 2, he shot 15 of 35. In Game 3, he shot 13 of 28. Let me give you those numbers again. First 2 games, 43. Game 3, 36. First 2 games, 15 of 35. Game 3, 13 of 28. Huge differences in volume. Ant-Man took 28 freaking shots in Game 3. That's what your team needs, Ant-Man. And I know Dante and Gobert and Jaden and these guys aren't going to eat that much. It's okay because your team will be able to provide food for them. There will be buffet style outside of the locker room before every game. Always is there. There will be buffet style right by the locker room after the game for guys looking for a meal. All right? Every single time. Don't worry. Ant-Man, go eat. Feast. Like James Harden back in the day. Like you're cooking and like Zeke Elliott after a first down. Like, give me more. I want more. Ant-Man, you need more. Your poster on Kevon Looney was a work of art. Arguably the top moment in the playoffs. But I want Ant-Man to get selfish. Go into Kobe mode. Go into Jordan mode. It's your time. It's not anybody else's time. It's your time. And you're going to have to do it together, but you got to do it together with an alpha. It's the alpha, ... and the others, okay? Too many times, it's Ant-Man down in the fight with everybody else on kind of a level playing field. Ant-Man, that's not what your team needs from you. Your team needs you to stand out and be an alpha and just, go Hulk smash on these guys, okay? Don't turn it on and off. Tonight is going to be so critical for that. What Ant-Man do we get? Does he go back to Game 1 and 2, laid back and deferring, or is it Game 3 where he's like, boom, this is my sport. Guys, right now, who is the face of the NBA? If you say that it's anybody other than Anthony Edwards, then you have not been watching any TV for the last 2 months. Any TV. Every single time the game goes to commercial break, I see Anthony Edwards in a commercial. Every single time. He's in more ads than Shaq. He's in way more ads than Curry. He's in way more. Kevin Durant's not even in commercials, okay? When's the last LeBron commercial you saw? Those have kind of died down a little bit. All of these sponsors it's Caitlin Clark and it's Anthony Edwards. And rightly so. Okay. Ant-Man's the face of this league right now. Is he the best player? No. Is he a champion? No. He is the face of this league. Boop. Turn on your TV. Ant-Man explosion going on. Kind of like Travis Kelce 2 years ago in the NFL. Do you guys remember that? The 2023 season? It was insane. Every time the game went to commercial, Travis Kelce getting the jab, Travis Kelce selling a car. It was crazy. All right, tonight's prediction. My Wolves are going to get this done. The Wolves need, the Warriors, have no margin for error. You don't have Steph Curry, you're dead. Okay, you can win regular season games without Steph Curry. You cannot beat this team. You cannot beat the Wolves. They might win a 1-point meat grinder classic tonight, but they're not winning this series. And I think the Wolves are going to win tonight and go up 3-1. I think the Wolves are going to go back to Minnesota and house the Warriors in Game 5, and that's going to be it. And the Wolves will move on to the Western Conference Finals. So I do like the Minnesota Timberwolves tonight. All right, Rick's rant. It's kind of quick this week. Are you a Julius Randle fan now? Or at least, are you done banging on him? Can you guys go from being a hater to being neutral? Can you just be neutral? Oh, Julius Randle, I don't like the way he plays. He puts his head down and runs into people like a bull in a china shop. He's foul trouble prone. He doesn't share with teammates. He doesn't make teammates better. He doesn't blah, blah, blah. It's all bull crap. It's all lies. Why don't you like this guy? If you've been banging on, and all you New Yorkers, forget about it. I know all you New Yorkers, you are the most guilty of anybody about this. So ungrateful. I mean, Julius Randle literally led the charge of you coming out of wreckage to where you are right now. He started it. He took a hometown discount, okay, totally hooked up your books, so you were able to go get Jalen Brunson. Oh my God. And all you do is bang on Julius. He sucks and he sucks and he sucks. Get him out of here. You know what I'm saying? And I love y'all New Yorkers. You know that, okay? I can bust balls too, but I do love y'all New Yorkers. You're brilliant basketball minds. I always love talking with you guys when I'm in the streets of Manhattan. You're my people. I love y'all. But you're so wrong about Julius Randle. Some asshat was talking about, I'd rather have Duncan Robinson than Julius Randle. Are you out of your effing mind, bro? Stop it. So are you still a hater? Are you still a complainer? Are you still a nitpicker? Or has Julius Randle won you over? If he hasn't won you over to at least neutrality, what do you have against this guy? What do you have against him? It drives me crazy, man. He is not a franchise face, but he is a franchise cornerstone player. A true 2, a true 3. Okay? On a winning team. Again, franchise face, Tatum level, Brunson level, Braun level, Curry level. No, he's not at that level. He's at that next level down from there. Okay, and that's a pretty good level. That's a 3-time All-Star level. All right, and maybe more. Against LA in the first round, 22-5-4, fabulous. Against Golden State, even better, 22-7-10. That's right, 22-7-10. A low-key Luka line right now from Julius Randle against the Golden State Warriors, the best defensive team in ball since they traded for Jimmy Butler. Doesn't matter. It's Julius Randle, baby. On my Wolves, let's go. The guy did triple-double in Game 3. Julius Randle did. To me, it's the best and most important game of his entire career. He's never been in the championship fast lane like he is right now, and he had a monster game at Golden State in a game where they were live, okay? Butler was coming for it. Kuminga was coming for it. It's a 5-point game, clutch game, right? And Julius Randle had the best game and the most important game of his career. I'm a big Randle guy. He has gone 20-10-5 2 times. He has flirted with 20-10-5 many other times. You can't do that and suck. It's not possible. Stop hating, start appreciating my guy Julius Randle. All right, it's time to bring in my boy Shaquille O'Neal for the most valuable other segment. So I get us started here. I give a couple of options, and then Shaq's going to come in and tell me what's up. And Andre, because it's a little bit scripted here and maybe a little bit corny, Andre, I want to alert you to you're going to have to break a tie between me and Shaq. Okay, I want to alert you to that. So, because I mean, Shaq's all about marketing, isn't that right, Shaq?
That's right. I love marketing. I'm very good at proven over the years. Kamla, have you bought Icy Hot lately?
I just got some last night, Shaq. I had a lumbar sprain that's been kind of bugging me. I got some Icy Hot.
Good for you. Did you get Krispy Kremes?
Shaq, I did not get Krispy Kremes. Okay, I know you own the location down there in Atlanta in Midtown. I did not get Krispy Kremes because Shaq, I'm cutting down the carbs. I'm trying to be svelte like you. I couldn't even do it. All right, Shaq, you still there?
I'm still here. Your jokes suck.
All right, let's get to work here. Most valuable other. A couple of options here. Peyton Pritchard in game 3 at New York. 23 points, 8 of 16 shooting, 5 of 10 from 3. Okay, Peyton Pritchard was absolutely fantastic. Or you have the Oklahoma City trio of bench others.
Others? You had me at others.
I know, Shaq. That's why we do the bit. That's why we bring you in here. So I talked about this a little bit at the top. SGA was great in the fourth quarter and all that. He doesn't have the opportunity to be great and win that game. If not for Alex Caruso making all kinds of defensive plays, he had 10 points, make big buckets. I thought Cason Wallace, he was probably my MVP for OKC in that game because when things were looking their darkest and their bleakest were when he was making shots. And I mean, just like killer drillers from 3. Bam, he had 11 points. And Aaron Wiggins also, I think he had 2 threes in the second half. I off the top of my head, but he had 11 points. And I know that he made big plays late. He was a part of the second half group, even when they started bringing starters back in. So I thought Caruso with 10, Wallace with 11, Wiggins with 11, combining for 32 points. Just absolutely essential to OKC. So, Shaq, I will give you my answer in a minute, but you go first. Who gets your pick for the MVP? And your pick has more value than the others, okay? It has more value than mine, okay? Is that okay with you?
That's always okay with me. It should. I'm the Hall of Famer. You're not.
Exactly. I'm just going to stay in my lane over here, Shaq. All right, Pritchard or the 3 OKC players, who you got?
Peyton Pritchard. He was amazing. 5 threes, 50% shooting. Played for my Celtics. I don't like the Knicks. I'll go Peyton Pritchard.
All right, Shaq. Great analysis right there. Really, really hard-hitting and deep and analytical.
Shut up, Kamla.
All right, see, we're a little edgy this week. Last week, it was all peaches and cream. The week before was a little edgy. He's Shaq. He's an edgy dude. He's going to dunk on me here in a minute and then push me down to the baseline like Chris Dudley. Isn't that right, Shaq?
I still don't like Chris Dudley.
I know. All right. So I've got OKC. I got these guys. Again, the championship was on the line yesterday at Denver. It was on the line. If those guys don't play that way, and then SGA doesn't play the way he played in the fourth quarter, they lose that game, and you're down 3-1, and you're not winning a championship this year, and then you start it all over next year, okay? All of that is still alive. That was a monumental win for Oklahoma City. Monumental. I can't say it's the most important win, like, of all their history, right? Because they went to the finals. With Durant and Harden and Westbrook and all those guys. So a lot of important wins on the way to that. But so Andre, like I said, you got to break a tie here. Shaq is on Peyton Pritchard, and I'm on the OKC trio of others. So who gets the MVO this week? Oh, Andre's speaking with Shaq right now, off the air. He says he agrees with Shaq. He's going Peyton Pritchard. That's very smart of you, Andre. Very smart of you. Because Shaq gets the win. Shaq, are you happy with the win?
I'm always happy with the win. And I am going to dunk on you and push you down on the baseline like Chris Dudley and humiliate you.
Shaq, why's it got to be that way, man?
Because you're wasting my time doing this show.
I thought you liked coming on.
I do, Cam. I love you. I'm out.
All right, Shaq is out. We appreciate him. All right, Andre broke the tie right there. The MVO this week goes to Peyton Pritchard. Okay. All right, marking it down. Westbrook has won 2 of these. And now Peyton Pritchard gets 1. And who won the other one? Oh, it was Gary Trent Jr. For keeping that Milwaukee series alive, if only for a minor moment. Shout out before we get out, and it's quick. Donovan Mitchell. I know he left game 4. I know he's probably done now for the year because they're going to lose the next game, and it's just all over, okay? Donovan Mitchell in game 2, when it was still a series, okay? You're at home. You got to win. You lost game 1 at home. He has in the 120 to 119 loss, he had 48, 5 rebounds, 9 assists, 1 block, 4 steals. Oh my God. What? What a game. Game 3. Okay, this is the blowout win at Indiana in game 3 to save the season, at least temporarily. He had 43, 9 and 5 with 5 threes. I don't care about what happened in game 4. I mean, it sucks. You got blown out. Mitchell got hurt, blah, blah, blah. And this is an injury, by the way. This isn't, oh, you should be playing, bro. He's having MRIs, and he'll be probably announced as week to week when they come out of that whole thing. He had 91 points in 2 games. 91 points in 2 games against a team with Neesmith, okay? Very, very, very impressive to me. And so shout out to Donovan Mitchell. Don, I love you. A lot of people are going to bang on you. You should have done this. You should have done that. Your team sucks, blah, blah, blah. You ain't going to get that over here, dude. You're getting love from me. I'm giving your team a pass. Y'all got hurt. You broke down. It happens. When the Timberwolves went to the West Finals in 2004, they played the Lakers. Sam Cassell, ruptured his thigh or quad or something. I forget the exact injury, but it was a significant injury. That was game 1. I'm pretty 99% sure. I know it was game 1 or game 2. Boom, you're dead. Okay, you're not beating Kobe and Shaq and Fox and Fish and all these guys without Sam Cassell. Not happening. Golden State's not beating Toronto in 2019 without Clay and Durant. Okay, Cleveland is not beating Golden State in 2015 without Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving. Injuries suck, but they're a part of the game, and you just got to roll with it. Really appreciate all you guys watching, man. Big thanks to Andre Lemouche. Big thanks to Shaquille O'Neal for joining the show, if only vicariously. Big thanks to my homie Mitch Lawrence for coming on here and giving us a bunch of great takes and a bunch of awesome energy. Go to sportsethos.com, subscribe to our work over there. Download the app, please. We'd really appreciate that. It's completely free at your favorite app store. And we are out. I will see you next Monday at 11 a.m. for the Sports Ethos NBA Show with Rick Kamla. And this episode's been brought to you by Bet Online. See you soon, everybody.